going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at Jenkins today with another Madden 22 Ultimate Team video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Gameday All-Stars cards from the Harvest promo, which is currently out right now. We're going to talk about the best sets to do and if it's even worth doing those sets and everything you need to know about them. If you guys find this video helpful, if you enjoy it, go ahead and make sure you click that thumbs up. It shows a lot of support on the video. The channel helps everything get noticed, helps the channel grow. Thank you to everybody that smashes that like button on a daily basis. Also, if you're new here, maybe you were searching on YouTube for this specific video or something Harvest related or just MUT22 content in general, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button as well. Turn that notification bell on so you guys are alerted when we drop additional videos. Let's talk about Gameday All-Stars. I want to give you some, some information on them first, some things that you should, kind of pay attention to, listen to. Number one is, what are they? Okay, so Gameday All-Stars, when we go into these sets, they are specific players who have a 91 overall card right now, and if they meet certain criteria on their Thanksgiving Day games, they can get either a +1 to their overall or a +2. So the highest they can go to is a 93 overall. And again, there are 6 total players. We're going to break down each player and look at their season stats up until week 10. That's why I waited until today to drop this video and see what they're doing on average compared to what EA is asking them to do in one game and which ones make the most sense or maybe are the most realistic from happening. Now, if you look at the sets, they all require the same thing, and that is going to be 190 overall Harvest player, 188, 186, 284s, and 482s. And what I did is I researched or broke down the cost of each overall Harvest player that would be required to do one of these sets. And this is mostly based off of Monday morning's market. So, over the weekend or Friday, these cards were probably going to be a lot cheaper. The one thing that I will say is that they will probably get cheaper again on Friday when it's likely that part 2 of this promo comes out. So when that happens, it's going to be cheaper to build these sets than it would be right now. And of course, you can still build them up until November 25th, which I believe is Thanksgiving Day, 10 a.m. So you can't do these sets afterwards. Obviously, they're going to go away because the games will be starting, and these cards are based off of IRL performances in said games. So to do this set completely, I had 90s overalls at about 75k, 88s at 33k, 86s at 16k, 84s at 7.5k each, and then 82s at about 4k each. My calculations here, about 155,000 coins to start from scratch, buy all the cards that you need to do this set. Now, if you have items in your binder already, obviously it's going to make it cheaper. But if you take a look at 91s as a whole on the auction house, those are under 100k right now, and that's on a Monday morning market. So the equivalent of doing this set versus what 91s are going for right now, and there's a few outliers out there that are going to be more expensive, but those are all under 100k. Even if you look at 92s are around the 135 to 150k mark. The only way that this could become profitable for you guys is if you do a set, get it done for like maybe 130, 140, 150, and you get it correct and that this player hits both objectives and get bumped up to a 93, because 93 overalls are roughly about 210k right now. And remember, the quick sell value will change with these cards based on their final overall. So there's not really profit coin training to be made if they're going to stay a 91 or even bump up to a 92. It's really only in the 93s. And it's going to be tough to get both of these things done for a lot of these cards. You got to guess the right ones. So in my opinion, it's not really worth it to gamble. Now, the other thing that you need to keep in mind is that once these cards get their upgrade, and by the way, all right, what is the 1 o'clock game? The Lions and the Bears, is it? All right, so say TJ Hockenson catches 5 passes, he gets a touchdown, and it's 5 o'clock Thanksgiving Day. Please don't tweet me or EA or anybody asking why TJ Hockenson hasn't been upgraded yet. It probably won't get done until at least the next day or maybe even the day after that. That's usually how these things work. They're also all going to get updated at the same time. When that happens, guys, these cards are going to get undercut like crazy. So everybody who has them, who's probably trying to make bank off of these, they're going to try to sell them, and then the other person's going to try to sell them, and person C and D and E and F are all going to try to sell them, and it's going to drive the prices down. So whenever that day happens, if there are 93s out of this group of 6 players, that's when training's going to be really low. That's when you're going to want to buy these cards. Also, why overspend for a 91 that might remain to 91? Like, there's too many things out there that you're leaving up to chance to be spending your coins on. So I'm going to give you all the information you need if you insist on doing one of these sets. But in my opinion, the best method, the best move is to wait until whoever gets upgraded, and then go in and buy the card at that time. One more thing to note before we get into our predictions is a lot of people have been hitting me up. Why can't I put this card into the power-up? It's because it's locked and set that way specifically. Once these cards either don't get their upgrade to 92 or upgrade to 93, once they become auctionable on the auction house again, at that point, then you can put them into the power-up. So, you know, I'm going to want this Malcolm Jenkins card for my Eagles theme team. I'm probably going to wait till that upgrade day. If he gets a 92, 93, or even stays at 91, I'm going to buy him at that point, and then at that point, it will allow me to go in and put him into the power-up path for his power-up card. All right, let's go ahead and start with Dak Prescott. The first one's easy. All he has to do is score a touchdown. He's done that 7 out of the 8 total games that he's played this year. I feel pretty confident that Dak will be able to score a touchdown on Thanksgiving Day. The second one, I don't feel confident at all. Pass for 400 plus yards. He's done it 2 out of 8 times, or 8 games so far this season. But not only that, the Raiders defense has only allowed one person to pass for 400 plus yards on them, and it just came yesterday on Sunday Night Football, week number 10, against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. So the fact that Dak's not done it at a high percentage and the Raiders defense haven't allowed it at a high percentage, I feel like this one is less likely to happen, but score a touchdown seems pretty easy. And I think Dak ends up at a 92 overall after his upgrade, after his Thanksgiving Day game. Now, moving on to Tremaine Edmonds for the Buffalo Bills, who are going to be going against the New Orleans Saints on Thanksgiving night. Should be a pretty good game. Looking forward to watching it. The Bills need to force a turnover. The good thing here is that they forced at least one turnover 8 of their 9 total games. That's a very, very high percentage. I like for them to happen, or for it to happen again. So there could be a +1. The second one, before doing research, seemed like something very easy, but I noticed here that it might not be, and that is to get 6 solo tackles. Tremaine Edmonds would need to get 6 solo tackles in that game. He's only done it 3 out of 8 times this season, and he missed yesterday's game, I'm assuming due to an injury. I'm not sure 100% there. So we need to find out, is he even going to be ready to play? I mean, we're still a week away, or a week and a half away from that game, so he could probably be healthy by then. But I would say high percentage chance for him to get a +1, not a great percentage to get a second +1 to get him to that 93. So this one, I would say, is equally as, possible as Dak getting a 93. For Malcolm Jenkins to get a 93 overall, he's going to need to get an interception, and then the Saints to not allow more than 425 total yards. Malcolm only has 1 interception on the whole season, so that's 1 interception in 9 games. The likelihood of that happening, the percentage is at least not good at all. And then as far as allowing 425 yards or more, they've only allowed it once in the last 9 games, or in the total of 9 games this season. So pretty high percentage there. But the Buffalo Bills, not bad offensively. They've had some hiccups. That game against the Jags was pretty terrible. They played great against the Jets yesterday. Saints defense much better than both of those teams. But the Bills have have had or gained 425 or more offensive yards 4 out of their 9 games. So that one, I mean, this is a very, very risky pick here that Malcolm may even just get stuck at a 91 overall. TJ Hockenson, he needs to get 5 catches to get a +1 there, and then have one of those catches be a touchdown. So on the season, he has 5 games out of the total 9, 5 of 9 games where he's caught at least 5 passes. And then as far as touchdowns goes, he's been missing the end zone for a while here. He has 2 of his 9 total games where he did get into the end zone, but he's gone 7 straight games without a touchdown catch. He got 1 touchdown in week number 1, another in week number 2, and he's done nothing since. So I feel pretty confident this is another one. You're noticing a theme here probably in that he'll probably get a 92 overall, 93. I mean, he's not averaging it. But this one I still feel like is probably pretty likely it could happen, but we'll have to see. EA actually adjusted, I believe it was the receiving yards for Hunter Renfrow. and I still don't know if he gets there. So for him to get a +2 overall or in totality here, to get him up to a 93, he would need to catch 4 passes and then also get 75 or more receiving yards. On the season, 4 passes or more. He's done it 8 of 9 times this season, so I feel pretty confident in that. In the one game that he did not do it, he had 3 catches in that game, so he was just 1 away from being a perfect 9 of 9 on the season. So we feel good about that one. The receiving yards, he's only averaging about 54.8 receiving yards per game on the season. In 9 total games, he's only had 1 game where he's gotten 75 yards or more. So the averages don't add up here. Dallas's pass defense isn't bad this year, so I don't think he's going to get the +2. Again, you're noticing a theme here out of all of them. They're all probably going to be getting a +1. Minus this last guy. I don't know about this one at all. Eddie Jackson, for him to get a +2, the Bears would have to allow 350 yards or less, and also Eddie Jackson would have to get an interception. He was a pick machine like 3 years ago. He had a season where he got 6 interceptions in one season, but since then, I mean, he has 0 interceptions this season. He had 0 the entirety of last season, all 16 games. In the last 40 games, he's only had 2 interceptions. So this one, it's going to require a bunch of luck, but they're playing against the Lions, and Jared Goff hasn't been incredibly good this season at all since he's left with the Rams, so we'll have to see there. But the other thing is that the other condition here, right, we know the interception is going to be far from likely, but with a possibility. The other condition is 350 yards or less. The Bears have allowed 4 times out of 9 games this season. They've allowed more than 350 yards. So the odds are in their favor that they won't do it, but they're not the greatest odds. Only 5 of 9 games where they've allowed 350 or less yards, and one of those games where they did was actually against the Lions on October 3rd. The Lions had 351 total yards. 1 yard difference there, but I just don't like this Eddie Jackson. As far as the odds go, I don't like it at all. So if I go back and look through all 6 of these, none of these feel good at all. The funniest thing here is that I would say TJ Hockenson maybe is the most likely, because I feel confident that he's going to get 5 passes. We just need one of those 5 to be in the end zone, and that's going to be likely. Like I said, Tremaine Edmonds, Dak Prescott, Malcolm Jenkins, Hunter Renfrow, Eddie Jackson. I'm just not liking the odds at all. But at the end of the day, you should have been listening to the first half of this video where I told you don't even bother with these sets because they're already overpriced right now. You can go in and buy the card after it's going to be upgraded, and also there's going to be a lot of undercutting going on once these cards get their upgrade, and the people who did get them go out and sell them. This would have been a great program if EA gave us one random one for free through solos or house rules or something. Now, it's not out of the question that couldn't happen because the promo, we're going to get a part 2 probably on Friday. We'll likely be getting a new house rules. Maybe something gets added in there to give us one of these for free, but at the end of the day, don't do any of these sets. Just buy the cards when they become available. Thank you guys for tuning in to another video. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.